Guys, we need to have a chat. The term generational buying opportunity is branded a lot, but now is really one of those opportunities. Yesterday, we spoke about the policy change. We spoke about how Jerome Powell came out and has basically telegraphed that we are getting a rate cut in September. This could be your final call, your final opportunity to take advantage of a powerful crypto cycle. Maybe you've missed one cycle in the past. Maybe you've missed two or three. Maybe you've always said in the next cycle, I'm not going to miss this opportunity. Well, guess what? You're sitting here staring at the face of a monetary policy loosening cycle. We've just had the Bitcoin halving. We've seen the battle against inflation. We've seen all of the challenges in the past around FTX, the 3 Arrows Capital, all the other things that went on with Sam Bankman-Fried, Do Kwon with Terra Luna. And yet we're sat here with Bitcoin pumping up overnight to $64,000, reclaiming very important support. What is this going to mean for altcoins? Are we now going to trigger our run towards 100,000 on Bitcoin? And if that was to happen, can you imagine the crazy returns you'd get on a selection of carefully picked altcoins in your portfolio? But yet so many people are still sat there on the sidelines, scarred by wick candles, right? Scarred by candles like this the other week where you're down 7%. Look, at the end of the day, if you want to be an investor, you're going to have to take some pain. Right? You're not going to make money as a trader or an investor scared to take risk. And unfortunately, days like those ones, those big red candlesticks, or even worse, the big falls after Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX, they either make or break investors. Right? There's two types of people. Those that cower away in panic when the market crashes down to 15,500, or those who bought the dip knowing that Bitcoin would once return to its former glory, but much higher as well. Now's the time where you're going to decide. Are you going to take advantage of this opportunity, or are you going to sit there saying, you know what? I missed another opportunity. I had the opportunity to allocate cash at a time when interest rates, when the Fed funds rate was sitting at 5.25 to 5.25%. I had the opportunity to do that, and yet I didn't pull the trigger. This market is expecting at least one rate cut in the next meeting, and just over a quarter of the market is expecting an emergency double rate cut as well. Are you going to sit there on the sidelines as this market rotates into a risk-on market? If you've not been around in risk-on markets before, it's important to understand you see a lot of capital flow in. You see monetary policy loosening. You see money being printed into the economy. Some of you may have saw a taster of that during COVID, right? With the stimulus checks, with the amount of money that was in the system. What happened? Hold up. Do you want to learn how to trade? Then you need to jump into our Telegram community. Link is in the description. In our Telegram community, I share my altcoins. I share how I do my trade setups, how I do my stop losses and take profit, so you could learn to become a profitable trader. Check it out. Link is in the description. Tesla and certain growth stocks did really well. Crypto did really, really well. Luxury watches did really, really well. Well, now we're at the precipice of another risk-on rotation. And this is something that you have to decide. Are you going to sit on the sidelines and miss another opportunity, or are you going to take advantage? Are you actually going to put your money where your mouth is? So as you can see here on the weekly chart, we're in a big consolidation pattern. There's been a lot of fear-mongering within this pattern. But throughout the ups and downs on the weekly chart here, Bitcoin remained in a very long and very big consolidation pattern. If you go to any TA textbook, not even mine, just go to any TA textbook, this move is a consolidation, which typically breaks to the upside, right? The bias is for this to be a continuation move to the upside. Now, at one point, there was a risk that we were spending too much time at the bottom and that we could have risked pulling back. Now we've seen a really good rotation here from Bitcoin. Let me just notch this down to the daily chart. Look at that. Right? We called this breakdown. I spoke about this impact on the channel. This wasn't a surprise. Look at my yellow dots. Go back and watch my videos. I said I'm buying the dip here and I'm buying the dip here. Look how nice this dip buy turned out to be. Nice recovery here on Bitcoin. I mean, if you just take it from the bottom of the channel up to where we're at, that's an 18% spot move on Bitcoin you're getting there. On Bitcoin, on the biggest crypto there is, just through trading it in a range. This is not rocket science. A kid who knows TA knows that you come to the bottom of the trend line, you bounce, and you start working your way back in. But something more important has happened here. We've managed to reclaim the all-important support. Remember when we created this M pattern? What was the neckline of this M pattern? It was this line here, around 63,500 to 64,000. Yesterday, we closed a daily candle above that. We didn't get rejected, right? We managed to get above it. And even today, we're a little bit green, which is really, really good. Now, we need to watch out. We don't want to just collapse back in. We need to build some strength here and start working our way to the top of the channel. Again, look, guys, every single time we've gone to the top of this channel, we've been rejected, 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 rejected. There's a chance it happens again, right? So there's no guarantee we just go off straight to the moon right now. No. But the more time we spend at the top of this pattern, the more time we spend here, even if we get rejected, maybe we can come back to 64 for some support and go mount another attack, the higher the chance we play out the positive situation of this pattern, which is working our way to the upside. And remember, the break of this pattern, guys, is not a joke. The break of this pattern is going to give us our next explosive move on Bitcoin. And this is what we call a huge, huge opportunity. I mean, if you just take the extended move from here up to this point on the chart, and we take that, apply that to the point of breakout. Let's say we break out at about here on this huge bull flag. This move officially takes you up to the 100,000 region, right? This is not just somebody shouting out numbers. No, this is a technical pattern, right? Using your measured move candles, which you can learn through my TA program, ijazcrypto.com/TA. I'll leave the link in the description. Big move up towards 100,000. And that's the move I want to be in the market for. If you imagine Bitcoin here has got at least here, if you take that move up towards 100,000, that's a 55% move on Bitcoin, right? 50% on your money on crypto's biggest asset class. Can you imagine what that means for altcoins? Can you imagine what that means for, some of the smaller cap altcoins in your portfolio? That's where the exciting move happens, where you have enough Bitcoin, enough altcoins, enough exposure to things like Solana and Cardano and Phantom, which we've been speaking about. I mean, look at Phantom here. Bouncing perfectly off our support line at 32 cents. Nice big bounce. Needs to get above 56, right? But again, can you imagine if Bitcoin goes on that journey of working towards 100,000? What do you expect to see for the likes of these projects like Phantom Sonic? What do you expect to see with projects like Cardano? What do you expect to see with all these projects that have been hugely suppressed during this market? Eventually, you would expect explosive 10x moves, at least on some of these bigger altcoins, and 20, 30, 40x on some of the smaller caps in your portfolio. And that is why I always stress that within my portfolio, I have it carefully crafted. I make sure I got enough Bitcoin, enough Ethereum, enough from the top 10. I know they're boring. I know everyone's like, oh, why? You're always talking about Solana and Cardano and these ones, but you got to have some of the top 10 and top 20 in your portfolio. Then you can have some more riskier ones. You can have your more small caps. You can even have your meme coins. I mean, speaking of meme coins, everybody, when it's pumping, wants to talk about Pepe. Nobody wants to talk about Pepe now. This is the difference. Look for projects which people aren't talking about. I mean, if you take Pepe right now, let's take this measured move from where we're at, just back to the all-time highs. That's basically doubling your money here on Pepe just to return to all-time highs. These are the moments I like to buy, right? I like to buy from positions of support. And that's fundamentally what we're seeing in this market. We rode the wave. We've come into an area of support, right? Look at the EMA ribbon. We've been speaking about this and monitoring this. There's no reason to panic. Nice big candle. Now, does this mean, all confirmed, green light, we're going to the moon? No, there is some technical resistance. We've got to get a higher high, right? Bitcoin's all-time high sitting at 73,794. Let's get above that. Let's break that resistance and show some strength. And that's fundamentally going to be the key. But now we've actually got a reason to break that. And that is that Jerome Powell, the Fed, this tightening policy which we've been through, which affects everybody, guys. High interest rates affects mortgage payments. It affects your car lease payments. It affects anything you've got on credit. It actually makes people poorer. And when people are poorer, guess what they can't do? They don't have excess cash flow to invest in cryptos. They can't even invest in Bitcoin, let alone small altcoins. They just don't have the excess cash flow. So when we go on this loosening policy, when risk starts to rotate back on, remember this dollar index needs to go on a nice long journey to the downside. This is great. We lost local support here. Let's keep pushing this to the downside. Let's have more weeks of pain on dollar index. Let's zoom out, guys. Take a look at this on dollar index. This is your zoomed out view of dollar index. In fact, let's go up to the monthly chart. This is the view. We need to send this powerfully down here. We want this to go down here. We've seen in previous cycles, right? This was a previous cycle here. Boom. Dollar index heavily rejected to the downside of the monthly candles. Bitcoin done really, really well. Same here. Dollar index rejected, sent a lot of time to the downside. Bitcoin done really well. In this period, Bitcoin done really well. Same we need here, guys. We need to send this in the downward direction and crypto will do relatively well. And that's what we're looking for here. We need to see this do what it's doing now, which is lose its EMA ribbon, spend more time in the downward direction, playing out this scenario, losing the green support. And that's going to allow risk on assets to do well. Fundamentally, people are going to start rotating risk on now, whether it's stocks, whether it's real estate, whether it's luxury watches, and of course, our asset class crypto. You will start to see flows of money come in. You've been patient. You've seen the tightening cycle, you navigated it. Now are you going to make the most of this generational buying opportunity? Hopefully you found this video useful, guys. If you like this type of content, smash all the likes. Do not forget to subscribe. If you actively want to trade with me, if you want to see which altcoins I'm trading, which I share a full report, right? I'm not like these other guys where I hide my trades. If I hit a stop loss, I tell you guys. If I do well, I tell you guys. I don't use leverage, right? I don't short the market. I just go long. I just do spot trades. And it's quite simple. I swing trade. You guys can see all of the altcoins I'm trading and a full report in my free Telegram group, ijazcrypto.com/TG, right? I just booked 17% spot trades this morning and another 13%. You guys can see exactly which trades they were using my Telegram link in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.